Help, I'm a prisoner in the library. Chapter 12. Last minute Harry to the rescue. Turn the lights out. They're shining right in my eyes, JoBeth complained sleepily. Suddenly, she came wide awake. She shook Mary Rose. The lights are back on. Miss Fenton sat up on the sofa as Mary Rose yawned. Mary Rose yawned and rubbed her nose. The power's back, JoBeth said excitedly. And look, the sun is shining. It's morning. Switch the TV on, Miss Fenton commanded, and let's see if we can get the latest news about the blizzard. A picture came on at once. A reporter, clutching a microphone and speaking rapidly, sounded as if he couldn't believe his own words. I'm standing in the heart of downtown Indianapolis on what is usually a working day. Normally, cars would be bumper to bumper, but as you can see, the streets are deserted for miles. Everything is closed up tight. Although it has now stopped snowing, the streets are impassable. Owners of four-wheel drive trucks and vans are being asked to help the city in rescue operations. The police ask that everyone stay at home. The traveling is extremely dangerous because of drifts and icy roads. I guess that means nobody will be coming to get us, Mary Rose mourned. Shh, they're back in the studio, Miss Fenton said. Listen. And there have been some scattered reports of fireworks last night which appear to be coming from Pennsylvania Street on the near north side. Police are investigating. Shut that thing off, Miss Fenton ordered. If the phone is working, I want to make a call. The phone was in good order. Miss Fenton called the police department. She talked and explained and listened and then talked and explained again. When she hung up, she was smiling. It will take a while for the rescue van to get here, but at least now your father knows where you are and that you're safe. Poor man. He spent the night at the police station waiting for news about you. He's calling your mother at once. And by the way, girls, you have a new baby brother. His name is Harry, too. I knew it would be a boy, JoBeth insisted, but somehow it didn't bother her as much this morning. She ran over to the birdcage and removed the cover. It's morning. Wake up. The minor bird lifted its head, looked about, and said chattily, What's your name, child? And then began to preen its feathers. On the sofa, the cat licked its paws and carefully washed its face. Then it meowed for food. Come along, little banshee, Miss Fenton said, picking up the cat. We'll give you a saucer of milk. Would you girls like some hot chocolate for breakfast? After they were finished eating, Miss Fenton suggested the two sisters explore the house. With the lights on, I think you'll find it very interesting and not the least bit scary. When the girls came back from their tour, they were bubbling with excitement. Miss Fenton was back on the sofa watching the cat, who was stretched out before the fire. Still think this is a wax museum, she said. That was the word JoBeth had been trying to remember. That's it, she shouted. That's it! Are you starting in again, Mary Rose wondered. Haven't we had enough? You don't understand. That's what this library really is. A museum. JoBeth was so excited. She began to talk faster and faster. A storybook museum. Wouldn't that be wonderful? You know how we're always going on field trips, Mary Rose, to the Children's Museum and the Art Museum and to the fort? Suppose there was a storybook museum, too, and there could be books here the kids could buy, telling about all the different displays. What a neat idea, Mary Rose was impressed. This one time, she really had to admire her sister's imagination. JoBeth turned to Miss Fenton, her eyes sparkling. And you said they would make good firewood, all these beautiful storybook people. It's not that easy, Miss Fenton objected. You can't start a museum just like that. It would take money and people to run it. You're here, Mary Rose interrupted. Mary Rose is right. You could be the caretaker and the guide. The Fenton Storybook Museum, Mary Rose said dreamily. What a great idea. It's out of the question. Couldn't you at least talk to someone about it? Some grown-up? JoBeth pleaded. Well, I do have some good friends in the community. I suppose we could start a campaign to raise funds. People want to see the city grow. Nothing may come of it, of course, but you'll try. You'll try? When Miss Fenton nodded, JoBeth shouted, Hooray! And then ran over and hugged her. I love this house, and I love you. You're funny, but you're nice. JoBeth? Mary Rose was shocked, but Miss Fenton smiled. Never you mind, child. I am funny. That happens to people who live alone sometimes. But I can't think of a nicer way to start the day than to be told you're nice and that someone loves you. Thank you, JoBeth. Mary Rose ran to the window. I think I heard a car. She rubbed the paint clear. There's a truck. It looks like an army truck. And there's a man with a camera. Hey, there's Daddy. There's Daddy. She tried to get the window open, then followed JoBeth, who was already racing down the stairs. Miss Fenton came right behind them with the keys in her hand. She reached the door just as Mr. Wintry came bounding up onto the porch. He pounded impatiently on the glass. Open up in there! The cameraman was busily filming the whole scene. Miss Fenton unlocked the inner door, and then she opened the outer door. Mr. One Tree rushed in and hugged the two girls. He was laughing and crying and scolding them all at the same time. He started to say something to Miss Fenton, but when he saw her bandaged arm and the guilty look on her face, he changed his mind. "Get your snow jackets and let's go," Mr. One Tree said. "You too, ma'am," the policeman said. He had just come up the front steps. "Bundle up warm." Miss Fenton said she was fine, but the policeman insisted. "They said on the phone that you were hurt. Can't leave you here alone. It's not safe." "But Duchess and little Banshee," she protested. "That's our Mina bird, and the cat that came in out of the storm," JoBeth explained. "We'll bring you back, ma'am, after the doctor's looked at you." The girls helped Miss Fenton put on her coat and boots, and the policeman held her firmly so she wouldn't slip on the icy sidewalk. As they left, the cameraman took one last picture. It was of the sign in the window that JoBeth had printed and then forgotten. "Help! I'm a prisoner in the library."